What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We finna recap Thursday night football where the Detroit Lions spanked the Packers in Lambeau. And then we're gonna break down the week 4 picks, the full slate. I'm gonna give out my best bets and prop bets along the way. And as always, go down, like and subscribe, comment your favorite bets of the weekend, and let us know what you thought of Thursday night football. And as always, here your host, I'm Paul Pickle Winham Concha, and I'm joined with.
You already know, man. It's that boy Kev, Water Boy, some boy, aka the Don P.Y.E., aka the dirtiest of the dirty birds. Somebody asked me the other day. They was like, "Bro, you like the It was a Dolphins fan. His name's Jarvis. He was like, "You like the Falcons, bro? You like the Falcons?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You like the dirty bird? I'm the dirtiest of the birds." Like, what do you mean? Like, it fucked me up that niggas was so shook about that.
Yeah, and this isn't a Falcon thing, but from our UFC side, we just thought we saw that boy Tim Means get a dub last week. I didn't know Tim
Mm-hmm.
Means' nickname was Dirty Bird, and I was like, "Damn, Kev, that's just like that's just right up your alley, Tim Means."
Yeah, I fuck with Timmy's. Even though I picked against him, didn't I?
I think so. I think we both did, but I mean, that's still our dog.
Oh yeah, that's my dog. Honestly, that's my bird, the dirty. But Paul, man, Thursday night, we was low key. We're still recording during the fight. We was recording the boxing episode, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely was watching that bitch out the corner of my eye because I saw my Lions dominate last night.
It was an easy win for both of us. We both took the Lions. I mean, we both kind of thought. I thought on the take. I said I thought the Lions are going to come out to a big lead, and then we're going to see like the Packers stink it up, and that kind of what happened. But my biggest takeaway here is this: Jordan Love is not that guy, and like I still stand on that. Like I wasn't a fan of Sam Howell, wasn't a fan of Jordan Love, wasn't a fan of Trey Lance, wasn't a fan of Justin Fields. And I thought maybe Jordan Love would be the one that I missed on. I was like, maybe I was wrong about Jordan Love. Maybe I'm okay with going being 3 out of 4 right. But then Jordan Love showed me last night, like, well, nah, maybe my take on him is still kind of good. I mean, throwing multiple interceptions. You can say the offensive line wasn't there, but there was a lot of times he had clean pockets and he wasn't making the throws unless your name was Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs was the only one that I feel like he had like a legit connection with.
He hit Christian Watson in the end zone. You know that boy out of Tampa.
Well, but he's like 6'4". He big body. He's the red zone guy. But like Dobbs, like nine catches, 90 something yards. Like him and Dobbs have a connection, and then Watson's the big body. But it like they didn't do anything for most drives. Like it was a lot of 3-and-outs. Even their first points was the field goal. That they got the interception on Goff on like the third play of the game, set within the red zone, 3-and-out, kick the field goal. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a long game for the Packers because that's their best shot to score touchdowns. And they didn't even do it.
Yeah, I think what got me was when it was after we got done recording. I think it was probably early in the third, and the Packers were driving, and it's even though they were down 24-3, they had stopped the Lions twice in a row, and I was like, okay, if your defense is getting stops now, this is where the offense picks up momentum. This is where you guys go. So I'm thinking they're really finna drive down and score both of these bitches. Nope, nope. And I'm just like, oh, you guys, if you're not gonna score, and then the Lions ended up, and then it got to the fourth, and the Lions ended up scoring. I was like, oh, this game's over. This game's done. I'm like, this is a team that like your defense can kind of keep you in these games, but if this offense isn't eating, this Matt LaFleur shit isn't going, like they're kind of fucked.
And they costed themselves too. Quay Walker, dog, but like he jumps over the special teams. On special teams, he jumps over the guy with a running start. That's a fucking fifth. That's a penalty automatically. When they could have stopped the Lions to settle for 3 points, they gave him an extra first down. 3 plays later, David Montgomery into the end zone, and they turned it into a seven instead of 3, and took extra time off the clock, which like the Packers definitely needed. And but David Montgomery balled out. I think he had 3 touchdowns, and he's looking like the Jamal Williams of this year. Like if you got him late in drafts, thinking he's gonna be back up to Gibbs, nah. Like they'll use Gibbs, but then they're gonna use David Montgomery 25 fucking times a game, no matter what.
I got Gibbs in the fifth round.
Gibbs,
David Montgomery was still on the board. I'd bet any amount of money. And Gibbs is starting right now. I don't even want to look at his points because I didn't know David Montgomery was back. But that shit hurt my heart because I remember last year I had DeAndre Swift, and I saw them boys. DeAndre Swift was eating, And then they start giving that bitch to Jamal Williams, feeding Jamal Williams. So I'm thinking, oh, this year I got Gibbs. Ain't no Jamal, ain't no DeAndre Swift, ain't no Williams. I actually drafted Williams from the Saints, thinking like, okay, I got the dude that they're gonna punch all these shits in with. Nope. David Montgomery gets paid what, 20 million?
20 million for 3 years.
Yeah, like they said, oh yeah, we're using you, homie, and that's exactly what they're doing. Shout out David Montgomery, and shout out this entire Lions offense. I think this Lions offense, which they can get really explosive really fast, like, and they can just come out of nowhere and drop like two straight on you, two back to back, two straight on you. And it's just like, oh fuck, now it's 14-0 quick. And Dan Campbell is looking poised in every situation. That's what I'm really loving. They're still going for it on fourth down. Love to see that they didn't forget where they came from. Like, this Lions team is going to definitely look in playoffs. And Jared Goff, who would have known that Jared Goff would be light years ahead of Joe Burrow in the season? Like, you know, for a fact, they're like, oh yeah, I'm taking. If you pulling up, who you taking? Jared Goff, Joe Burrow? Everybody right now is taking Goff.
Yeah, and well, I would say Goff is kind of scaring me because this is now like 3 games in a row he throws an interception, and like he had that little streak going prior to like they cursed him, and now it's looking like he's kind of reverting. I mean, I don't the only I went 3-2 on my props, and 2 of the 3 that hit were Jared Goff under 255 and under 1.5 touchdowns. He gets that first touchdown to Amon St. Brown in the first quarter. I was sitting there like, fuck, this is I'm gonna have to sweat this other touchdown for 3.5 quarters, and I did, and it was a fun sweat. But it didn't cash. I mean, it cashed for me. He went under 1.5, but that interception on like the third play of the game, I was sitting there like, ooh, I remember when Jared Goff sucking was a thing, and like this is kind of looking mighty familiar, Jared Goff with that interception.
Nah, that shit is tragic. But we'll see. This Lions team is looking great. I want to see. I can't wait for them to play the Vikings. I want to see who really is the best in this division.
All right, now let's get on to the Sunday slate. We're gonna get super early. Don't forget, set your clock. We're going to London. We're gonna be being at Wembley Stadium. It's gonna be 9:30 a.m. kickoff Eastern time, 6:30 if you're over there on the West Coast. The Falcons are gonna be playing the Jaguars. It is a Jaguars home game. I know it's technically not at their stadium, but if you know anything about the Jags in previous years, them playing in London is another home game for them. So it is, with all due respect, a home game for the Jaguars. But that's not the takeaway for your Falcons, Kev. I know y'all got a little bit of experience out there over across the pond. So, like, let me know the take for your Falcons this week.
I mean, so well, first off, like everybody knows, Jaguars. That London is they that's their crib. Them boys cool in London. Like, I think the Jaguars probably have one of the craziest fan bases because a lot of people, there's like Packers fans everywhere, there's Steelers fans everywhere, but there are genuinely probably Jaguars fans all over the world because of how good they play in London. So this is going to be a great game. On Falcons, we also do get dubs in London. That's when Kyle Pitts has his best game. So I'm really expecting Kyle Pitts to show out tonight, to show out Sunday morning. But the thing about me when it comes to the breakdown in this game, I think my Falcons look good. I think the Texans beat the Jaguars last week. That doesn't really mean as much, but it shows that like you can stay poised and do this thing. I just want to know what the fuck are we going to do about this defense? Because I think Trevor Lawrence and them, they could eat, but there could be times where they fuck up. And I think we can capitalize on those fuck ups. But I don't know what our defensive matchup is going to look like because they do got some hitters coming through, and the O line probably had one of the biggest fall offs last week going against the explosive as Lions D line. So I don't know what mindset our offense is coming in to take on this Jaguars defense.
So the Jags defense have been playing really well. They've been keeping them in games. I mean, not last week with CJ Stroud was dicing and slicing, but previous to that, they were looking really good to start the season. Josh Allen was looking like the better of the Josh Allens in the NFL for the Jags. And but I mean, in my opinion, Kev, I know you're not going to do it, but you guys got to hammer. You guys got to hammer the Jaguars over there in London. When they sucked, they even beat Dolphins. Right? I remember that game we lost by the field goal. And that was an Urban Meyer led squad that beat us, and they just get fucking Tua got superpowers when he bumped his head. Like that boy's over there gets superpowers every time they over there in London. So it's not to me. It's just like sometimes you got to blindly pick the Jaguars in London.
Yeah, I can respect it, but like I do like my Falcons. But you want to hear the craziest part about all this shit?
What?
Guess where the fuck I'm gonna be for this fucking for this game.
I'm guessing at church for not. If it's 9:30 in the morning.
So I'm supposed to be going to work out in the morning and then going to church, but the SBA club has a motherfucking skydiving event that I said
Oh
I was
yes,
going to
you
go to.
told me.
So
Yes.
I may or may not be in the air at some point during this, falling out the air at some point during this game. So we'll see how it goes. I gotta
While
go
you
talk
up
to
there,
them
you better
boys.
send a prayer for them boys, bro. You're a little
How about
close.
say, hopefully this shit isn't going down for real, but we'll see.
All right, jumping into the next thing. Now we're going back to the straight up 1 o'clockers, normal time. You can probably take a little nap. Sometimes you see it carries right over. We're gonna have yeah, I'll fuck it. I'll start it right here. Dolphins going to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. Bills 2-1, Dolphins 3-0. This is a rematch from the playoffs. This is the where the Bills knocked us out with Skylar Thompson. I know this game was circled by Mike McDaniel. I know, like, yes, it's scary because it's in Buffalo and we haven't beat Buffalo in Buffalo in about 7 years. So we don't really tend to show up when we go up north against them. But I think this is just a different mojo about us. We're the number one offense in NFL by a wide margin. I think we average like 526 yards per game, where like the next best team is in the like low 400s. So and then the Bills though the second best overall defense in the league right now, giving up yardage. So it's like top defense, top offense. Bills looked great last week and the week before, back to back against the Raiders and the Commies. But this ain't the Raiders, this ain't the Commies. I think we all know when games get close for Josh Allen, that boy just doesn't know how to win. And I gotta go with the Dolphins here. We're the underdog. This is gonna be one of my dogs and one of my best bets. And right now, it's sitting at 3 points. Give me Dolphins +3. Even if I'm not even gonna say even if, but you get an extra field goal way of cushion just in case.
See, America, if you're listening auditorially, this is me confused. I don't know what the fuck is about to happen for this game. And my gut wants me to stick with my pick. I chose that the Bills to win his division. I chose that the Bills were probably going to make it to the AFC Conference Championship if Josh Allen can keep the turnovers down. But I don't know. Like both of y'all teams are rolling right now. Both of them have done like you said, the Bills have fucked up the commies and
Raiders.
and the Raiders. So they were fucking up, and they just showed both those teams that they're not supposed to be there with them. But the Dolphins been doing that shit times 10. You feel me? So I think this comes down to familiarity. I think this is gonna be one of those. It's the division. It's a division game. Y'all know each other better than the motherfucking. You guys know yourselves. So it's coming down to coaching. I need to see. This is a Mike McDaniels versus McDermott chess game. Mike McDaniels is kind of come through with some explosive ass offense, and I want to see what the defense and Vic Fangio and the defense can do as lined up. Because what are they going against? What's bro name? Ken Dorsey. He's still
Yep.
the offensive coordinator with Ken Dorsey. I think that's the matchup to look at. Can they force these turnovers? You know me, I'm big on mistakes and capitalize on mistakes. So can they force Josh Allen to look like not the best Josh Allen? We're not talking. Can they make sure that Gabe Davis looks very, very absent? Can they make sure that like they're stopping the run because their game with Zach Moss looked good when they were playing against those trash ass teams? So not trash ass teams, but them teams. So like that's what I'm looking at the matchup coaching wise because I want to see like what setups, what looks are they giving everybody because this game can go either way. I'm gonna stick to my Bills pick, but this game is bigger, is even closer than a pick 'em. It's like a pick 'em is 1 to 1.5. I'm talking 0.5, 0.5.
Yeah, no. So that's give me Dolphins +3 is the best bet. I even taking them straight up on the money line. Follow me on that as well. But like just speed kills. I know they have a good defense, but Josh Allen doesn't really play well against the Dolphins. He does play well against them at home, but other on the but I just don't like it. I don't like it. And I got two props for this game. Josh Allen throw an interception, and Jalen Waddle over 59.5 receiving yards. Then we're gonna go to this game's gonna be real ugly. You have the Bears as a 3.5 point underdog at home against the Denver Broncos, who just lost by 50 fucking points to the Dolphins. And the Bears they're looking like they're on fire right now, on fire in a good way, but like the whole organization they're not good coaching, no good players. They're having crazy allegations and rumors surrounding them. So like the Bears right now are dumpster fire.
Yeah, they're all the way fucked up.
These are two teams. I think it's hard to pick one, but we got to pick one of them. Who do you have in this game?
Bears versus who these trash ass niggas playing?
The Broncos.
I forgot what I was doing my research on this week. I saw that game and laughed. Like literally just laughed for like 5 minutes, kid. This shit was hilarious. But I just kept remembering all the memes I saw on Instagram with the Broncos. So I remember telling myself, like, I was confused. There's no way I could choose the Broncos this week. But they are playing Justin Fields and the Bears. So it's funny. I watched this channel called TPS, and they do like their Monday. They do the week 4 breakdowns and stuff. TPS versus the world, and they let the world vote on Twitter, and then they do their votes and they compare them, and they also do Madden simulations. So it's always funny seeing like the differences that they get, like what the world's feeling versus them. So TPS thinks Bears are going to keep this close, and they think that they think Justin Fields is gonna the Broncos are going to be winning by a slim margin, and then Justin Fields is going to do something to make the game. Justin Fields is going to take the game away. They're going to win by like 1 or 2 points. I don't believe in Justin Fields like that. I don't think this defense is good for nothing. I think this is going to be that game you was talking about last week when they're showing all the Justin Fields random highlights. But I think, and I could be wrong, the Broncos are slightly less terrible than the Bears. But I could be wrong.
Somebody has to get their first win of the season here. I have it's hard to say it, but honestly, at home as a dog, I'm gonna take the Bears here as a even with a hurt secondary. Their secondary is all banged up. I think Russ is gonna have a good day, but I just think neither defense is gonna look good, and both teams are gonna score a lot of points. I think this is gonna be a very high scoring game just because it's not even because the offenses are great. It's just because both defenses are gonna be that bad for this game. Uh, and
That's funny.
I gotta take the Bears at the home. This might have the home edge.
That's fine. I think we pick different things because I think this game's gonna be like 17-18. Like I don't think either of these offenses is gonna put up points for nothing.
No, I say I'm going the opposite way. I actually have a couple props for this game. It's Russell Wilson over 1.5 touchdowns at plus 125 odds, and then Javonte Williams over 52.5 rushing yards. I think he's gonna be he's gonna be running the ball. Like I said, no defense in this whole game. Fields over 187 passing yards. This is gonna be in my eyes. That's just how I see this game going. And that's how I think the Bears could potentially win it if Fields is actually looking pretty damn good. Then we got
yeah.
then we got another divisional game. Browns versus the Ravens. Browns are a 2.5 point favorite. The Ravens are getting a couple of their players back. They're not fully healthy, but they're getting healthier. 2.5 point underdog. Both sitting at 2-1. This is going to be a big game. Looking for the division standings and everything on who's the best team right now over there. Are you going with Watson? Are you going with Lamar? The Browns defense is on a fucking historic pace, even though they haven't played anyone great really at quarterback. And then Lamar has yet to have his like Lamar game coming off the coming off the loss to the Colts.
But you know Deshaun Watson and Lamar, I be forgetting that like Deshaun Watson went to Clemson. So like them boys was in the ACC together and shit.
Yep.
And then them boys be playing in the league and shit. I want to say they had a good game when Clemson played Louisville one year. One day that game was on point. I could be wrong though. That was
No,
like when
Lamar got put into a box because he couldn't play. Clemson's defense was way too good.
Who was it? I can't remember who Deshaun Watson played. It was like a crazy fire game. I remember like
FSU.
there
That
were
was
2 games. Was it Jameis?
I don't think it was Jameis. It was he might have been Jameis when Jameis was a senior before he went on, but then Watson went the next year as well and played FSU again.
Mm. But yeah, I remember this game because there's games you remember like Baker Mayfield versus Pat Mahomes and shit. Like you remember those games in college. So I always like seeing these matchups, and they're in the same division. That's even cooler. But this game is gonna suck. I do not like this to be a good game. I think the only way for this game has two ways of going. I think it could be like a 27-20 game, but it's gonna be an ugly 27-20 game. It's gonna be gross. And like the team that scores the 27 has just had the ball last type shit. And but I don't know. The way I saw that the Ravens look crazy on in against the Colts last week. I'm expecting them to bounce back and not be looking bad, even though that last fourth down was definitely holding. But was definitely PI like a motherfucker. But the whole game they just didn't look great. So I'm expecting the Ravens to bounce back. And I expect them to bounce back, but still not look good because this Browns defense is the truth. Like, I'm expecting them to look better than they did last week, right? Play better, but still not look good because of this Browns defense. And then I just don't believe in Deshaun Watson in the offense. I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I be trying to. I mean,
But
the backup for Chris, what's his name? Um,
or
Jerome Ford. He scored. He was cool. But I don't know. I don't believe in this Watson offense like that. I think the reason why this team stays up is because their defense just puts them in great positions.
the defense is on a historic pace, only allowing like 180 yards per game right now. But
Crazy.
they played Kenny Pickett, Ryan Tannehill, and one-legged Joe Burrow week one. So I'm not really too sold just yet as them being the best end-all be-all defense. I think they're still a great defense. That's why I took them last week. But I think we got to pump the brakes on like, okay, this is going to be a game wrecking. This is the people they're on pace to break all these records, and people are definitely letting the world know it. Like they're not being quiet about it. Everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, all right, like this pumped. It's been 3 weeks, and those are the three quarterbacks they played. Okay, maybe they should be looking pretty good right now. Lamar
I feel
Jackson,
like it was.
Lamar's
I feel
different.
like
I think.
I feel like it was Pat McAfee and them boys. You know, them boys be loud about shit like that.
Yeah, like but I give it kudos. 187. They are still a great defense. They are really good defense, but I don't think you can keep up that pace. Y'all gonna play some really good quarterbacks. I think this is one of them. Lamar Jackson. Uh, this is definitely gonna be a tough game for him, but I think he's gonna be running for his fucking life. I like him. I like him to use his legs this game a lot, and I I just like that offense. I think the Ravens defense is gonna do the same thing to Watson. Like they're gonna get after him as well. But people are talking more about the Browns defense is gonna like destroy Lamar, whereas I think Lamar's gonna fare a lot better than what Watson's gonna fare against the Ravens defense. And that's why I have the Ravens as a +3 best bet, and that's why I'm actually gonna I just taking them straight up too on the road. I still think the Browns are a little overhyped right now. Their defense is great and all, but their offense is just bogus. Their offense is not good at all.
My bad. I was giving no fucks about the Browns because I was watching Justin Jefferson highlights. That boy's
And
so cold.
yeah, and then yeah. Oh, and then before I move on to Lamar I put it over 47 and a half rushing yards. I think he's gonna be all over the place this game. Like
You
they're
think
gonna
this that game?
yeah, I think so. I think this is gonna be he's gonna have a big rushing day. Over 47 and a half. I don't think he'll have 300 passing yards and all that, but I think he'll be running, especially whenever he has to break pocket because Myles Garrett's coming or something, he's gonna have to take off. We're gonna see a lot of him getting out of there.
Myles Garrett is coming.
Are you going with the Browns or are you rocking with the Ravens?
You know I got them. What type of birds are the Ravens? The Falcons are dirty birds. The Eagles are filthy birds. The Ravens are
I think like smart birds. They're like intelligent.
nah. They the cool birds. They the cool birds.
Then we jump into all these games are gonna be real close right now. Next one, Texans, 2.5 point underdog against the Steelers. Texans coming off
Oh,
a big win against the Jaguars. Steelers coming off 2 games where they were the underdog and won them both outright. This is now they're the favorite on the road. Do you think Kenny Pickett and that defense is going to get to C.J. Stroud, or do you think C.J. and the boys are going to keep clicking?
no, I think Mike Tomlin eats CJ and them boys alive. Like Mike Tomlin's in this bitch trying to. He is a rookie. Mike Tomlin is telling them boys like he is. We are here to handle business. We come here. Mike Tomlin has been giving speeches all week about this game, kid. There's no, I want to say no way. CJ Stroud is when them boys is winning because D'Amico Ryans is a sneaky motherfucker. But I got my steel. I got not my steals, but I got the steals in this because you know how I fuck with that defense, and I want to see them boys look alive.
And I know Laramie Tunsil is gonna be out, so that's like a
Oof.
TJ Watt may have a big game. But something in my guts is telling me take the Texans as a home dog here. I think they're gonna get up for this game. They're gonna look. They finally got that first win. I think that kind of helps build the confidence of a young CJ Stroud. But Tank Dell has looked great. Like I think he's gonna have a big game. Tank Dell's had like back-to-back weeks where he's putting up like 30 points in fantasy. Rookie, him and CJ Stroud have a fucking connection, and their defense like there's another game where everyone's talking about that Steelers defense, but the Texans defense has been holding it down under Marco Ryan. They don't have Derek Stingley Jr., but they're still been balling. And I think Kenny Pickett hasn't looked too good, and I think that's going to help the Texans sneak a win at home here.
Are you saying Texas two in a row?
Yeah, back to back on that.
I can't. Next, you're gonna tell me the Cardinals gonna beat the 49ers.
Let's not get too hasty now. Let's move on to the next one. They're all close ass spreads. Like these are all under field goals right now, except for this one. The
I was gonna say,
Vikings
so it's
are
gonna be easy for the locks and dogs this week.
the Vikings are a 4 point favorite against the Panthers. Panthers are at home. And Bryce Young may play. That's still kind of up in the air, but I think it's leaning towards he's going to be the starter for this week. But Bryce Young, he's back. Vikings defense kind of can make it interesting if they really are that bad, and Bryce Young could have a good game. I think Andy Dalton would probably tear that Vikings defense up. But I'm hoping Bryce could do it too. Do you think the Vikings finally get their first win?
Hell, motherfucking yeah. I think this. So I think this Panthers team is funny. I think they're not good at all, of course, but I do think there's like little things that can happen to make this game really interesting, and I think this is gonna be a close game. Like I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 30-24.
Just
So
because of how
I,
bad that D is.
yeah, like that shit is trash. So like I really like this game to be like, and I like it to be like a 30-24 until Kirk Cousins gets a drive in the last like 4 minutes. And then that's when they take the lead type shit. But Jay Jettas is gonna eat free. No JC Horn. So motherfucking Jay Jettas is gonna eat free. Addison is gonna have a great game. I like him to score a touchdown. And I don't know about the run game too much. Maybe Madison does this thing. But I like this Vikings team because they're the best 0-3 team in the league right now.
By
So
far.
yeah, so I like this team to go. And it's crazy. And I don't even want to make it seem like they're not supposed to be 0-3 because they definitely got stopped twice in the red zone last week against the Chargers. And then before that, they didn't get blown out. They played the Eagles on Monday night, right?
Yep. And then they played the Bucks.
Yeah, and then they gave up that game to the Bucks. So I'm not gonna make it seem like this Viking team is not supposed to be 0-3, but they are the best 0-3 team I've seen in this league this year. So I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, the Panthers are just kind of down and out in my opinion. I think the Vikings offense is just gonna look phenomenal. If JC Horn was in, I might be talking a little bit different. So I think the Panthers could potentially sneak it in, but they also don't have Shaq Thompson. So like defense is kind of banged up. Brian Burns can hold it down by himself. He's a grown ass man, but Vikings are gonna
Please, bro.
Vikings are frustrated and they know they need to get wins because the Lions are looking great. They know they need to start playing catch up and to even like go back to the playoffs kind of. Can't go 0-4 and expect to go to the playoffs again. Whereas the Panthers know this is a year that no one expected them to win it all. So like they might be okay with going 0-4. So I think the Vikings and they're gonna come in and this fucking Kevin O'Connell's gonna have them troops ready for war. Kirk Cousins
Oh,
over
yeah.
1.5 touchdowns, and I agree, Addison. He's hit this number every game so far as a rookie, over 39.5 yards.
Oh, he's
Every
had 50 plus all games.
Yeah, so like they're gonna keep giving you free money. You might as well just keep robbing the bookies.
Rob.
Next game, we got the Colts versus the Rams. A pick 'em 50-50, even on the odds. The Colts, I think the Rams were the favorite. Then the Colts became the favorite. And then now we're sitting here and it's 50-50. No one's the favorite. Both -1. Uh, Anthony Richardson will be back. So no Gardner for this game. We're back to the AR experience. And honestly, I thought Zach Moss was going to be the reason why this team may stink for a little bit too. Like no run game without Jonathan Taylor, but
Said Zach Moss. That's not their running back.
Zach Moss is fucking lights out back to back games. Like it wasn't no 1 week fluke. Like he's been doing big things for the Colts. Jonathan Taylor is on the trade block now. The Colts say they don't even want him back into the building, and like I think the Colts found their identity, and I think AR is him. And I think it's simple as they're at home. Their defense is great. Matthew Stafford's throwing picks again like he used to. Puka kind of got figured out. He wasn't really around for that last game. And Kyron Williams' experiment isn't looking too hot. So I think the Colts defense eats the Rams alive. And I'm not. And my early take on them this season isn't too wrong after all.
You see it, America, Russia, whoever's listening. That gate is there. I keep that Gators flag on me. You feel me? You know we rock with that for AR-12 whenever we can. You feel me? So I like Anthony Richardson to come back, get 2 rushing touchdowns on some crazy shit. Let every fantasy owner that's starting him this week get him. And I'm not gonna say Puka and all them boys on the offense got figured out, but I will say that it's only gonna slow down because we know Matthew Stafford likes to make favorite targets, and like I feel like it gets a lot of points at times when he forces those throws. So we don't expect much from this Rams team, and I think this game is gonna show that. And fun fact about Kyron Williams, bro's like the only running back in the league right now that plays like 100% of the snap because that's how weak they are at running back.
No other players are left on that depth chart. I don't know. They probably have moved someone up this week, I'm guessing, but they had nothing at the running back.
That shit is crazy. So I mean, like fantasy wise, I would take them because they did get close. I would expect them to try to punch one in on the ground. I'd have him like on my bench fantasy wise, but yeah, I don't see much going from this Rams team for a little minute. They got to figure some stuff out.
I got the Kyron Williams under 56.5 rushing yards. I just don't think the Colts defense has been really stout, and their offenses look way better than what anyone thought. So like they're just in a
Yeah,
way better spot.
yeah, and the Rams O line is atrocious right now, so they need a lot of figuring out right now.
All right, next, one of the biggest, honestly, second biggest spread on the slate. The Eagles are a 9 point favorite at home against Washington. Um, this is a rivalry game, some would say. It is a divisional game. Washington coming off an ass whooping the Bills gave them. Sam Howell threw 4 interceptions. Defensive line destroyed the offensive line. They got I think 7 sacks on him as well. And then the Eagles are coming off a game where they just won on prime time Monday night.
Oh yeah, them boys is teed up, man. Remember we used to have the boring block?
Yeah, this be one of them.
This is gonna be one of them. Like it's gonna be this Eagle. It's only a better defense and a run game that you're not gonna be able to stop. So like I don't expect Sam Howell to throw 4 interceptions. I'm expecting them to like try to play a lot safer game this week and use Brian Robinson and the running backs a little bit more. But regardless, he's gonna have a long ass day. Hopefully, Scary Terry gets some points because I'm starting him this week.
See, the Eagles defense has been fucking so like Jalen Carter. They're saying like even the other players are saying like, bro, he's just a rookie, but he might be the best player on the line already.
That's scary.
Like they're like the way that he's been dominating and wrecking the inside as interior. They're saying like no nothing since Aaron Donald has been like this instant impact as an interior defensive lineman. Like he's wrecking games single handedly on the Eagles, and like that's what destroyed them against the Bills was that interior offensive line was getting destroyed by their D linemen. So Eagles are just going to come in there and just curb stomp the fuck out of Washington.
I'm expecting a lot of quick passes, a lot of slants, a lot of maybe not too many arounds, but a lot of motion. Like expecting a lot of like trickery this game for them from the enemy.
And Kev, remember that stat you said? They're 21 and 1 in their last 20 games. That one was against Washington last year.
It was.
So this is definitely
Oh,
circled for Sirianni.
oh, they finna fuck them up.
Next game, this is back to the close games of the week. Titans are 2.5 point underdog against the Bengals. Bengals have not looked good. Jamar Chase finally had a good game. Bengals finally got their win. Titans, it's been a rough couple of weeks. They got that one dub against the Chargers, which I was all over. But other than that, they've been looking pretty rough. Derrick Henry's been haven't really showed up at any capacity on the field, mainly because the whole offense is looking very bad. Tannehill's look bad. Is do you? I mean, both offenses around. I can't even stress how bad the Bengals offenses look too. Joe Mixon's non-existent over there. Uh,
Doesn't exist. And
so so what is do you think who do you think what do you give it to the Titans because they're at home here, they got the crowd, Mike Vrabel as an underdog story, or is it like the Bengals maybe are just gonna turn it back on?
I like this game to be close, but and if it was in Ohio, I would pick the Bengals. But Mike Vrabel and his offense looks abysmal. But I'm praying they figure something out this week. Because I'm not gonna lie, originally I was not picking them. I was not picking the Titans even slightly. I was like, I have to Joe Burrow on fantasy. Jamar Chase looked good last week. Like, there's no way I'm picking them. And I'm like, till I found out this shit was in Nashville. And you know me and Nashville, my relationship with Nashville after this summer. So like, yeah, that's like a third home right there. So like, I'm gonna trust Vrabel, underdog in Nashville, because this Bengals team didn't even look, even though even though even though they won last week and everybody's talking about they finally got the win of the year. They started off slow, they're picking it back up. It was still 16-19. Like, this wasn't like a great game either way. So like, I expect this to be another slow game that's not going to make my big screen, but the Titans are going to be able to dog it out maybe. Hopefully Derrick Henry can have a good game this week.
So I'm rocking with the Bengals. They have a really good run defense, and I think they'll be able to
They
take
do.
away
Hold on, I'll switch them that quick. Now I'm playing.
Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard. I think they'll be able to keep Derrick Henry in check. They're like Ohio strong, so they're not afraid to like hit Derrick Henry. So I think
Yeah,
I like them to play good against that. He's gonna have to rely on Tannehill, and I don't think Tannehill's gonna win that battle. D Hop's having a good year though. Still, I'll give it to D Hop. He's still balling. But yeah, give me the Bengals. And I'm putting on my best bet -2.5. Give me. I think the Bengals are gonna kind of show like the defense is gonna be good enough to limit them to maybe like 10 points.
how did they play last week? How good was it? What did the Titans do last week?
Fuck. Who did the Titans play? Let me pull it up real quick. Going
And we
to
know they lost. And what
they
taking these
played
teams?
last week. They played the Browns 27-3,
Fuck.
but they beat the Chargers 27-24 and lost to the Saints 16-15.
I'm taking the Titans. I'm taking my pick and I'm sticking to it. I don't
All
like
right.
it, but I'm sticking to it.
Next game we got the Chargers at home where they're 5 point favorite against the Raiders. Raiders might not have Jimmy G playing, which is I'm not too sure yet, but he was kind of banged up leaving that last game. So without Jimmy G, I think it's Chargers by a landslide. And even with Jimmy G, I think Chargers still are good, the better team here. They've got talent. I think that Devontae Adams is already bickering about he isn't here for a win later type shit. I want to win now. Like I said in my preseason take on this team, for McDaniels be the first coach fired, we're gonna have to see Devontae Adams and some other players start talking out loud about how some bullshit, and it's already happening. It's on to week 4. I think that this one team is on dumpster fire, might not have their quarterback, and even if he does play, didn't practice all week. It was banged up. Chargers are going to look pretty good here. Austin Eckler's back too. Like, yeah, this is when the Chargers go on and win maybe 3 games in a row and are back into like playoff contention later in the year.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Chargers on this one. They could have. they definitely earned that win last week, and this defense showed that they can show resilience and stand up and stay strong in crucial moments. So I'm definitely taking the team. I love great leadership. And Austin Eckler's back, so that's another just dynamic weapon. Who is it? Palmer that's out for the season.
No, Mike Williams, torn ACL.
Williams is out for
But
the season.
Joshua Palmer's stepping in, and he balled last year when he had to step in.
I was about to say, yeah. So Palmer going to come through. He's going to be a great weapon as well. And it's crazy when they talk Devontae Adams because it's like if you look at like this top five easiest choices to make when he made his decision to leave, it's like fuck. Like either way he went, he would have been fucked. Because like imagine if he had stayed on the Packers and left. Fuck. Imagine if he had stayed because he came to the Raiders to be with Derek Carr. Derek Carr gone. Fuck. What if he had stayed on the Packers, right? Signed like a 1 year and slid to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers.
That'd be OP.
He would
Oh,
he
but
would have
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers would have got hurt. Fuck. Like you feel me? Like no matter what he would have done, that shit would have been doomed. Like type shit. If like so like there's a lot of different universes in the multiverse that are in the same position we are, Paul. Because no matter what he would have done, it would have sucked. Like there's probably a universe where he went to the Steelers and Kenny Pickett is his quarterback. Like
should have went to KC.
nah, see, that would have been OD. But so yeah, it's crazy how you see this Raiders team, and I don't see them doing much better. I see them getting random wins around the season, but I think they're who we thought the Cardinals were going to be this season. So I'm definitely got the Chargers.
And then we got to move to the next game. Another big. This is some of the bigger odds on the slate. Oh no, I skipped the game. My bad. Forgot a game up there at 1 o'clock. I had it highlighted, so it was a little in a different section. But it was the Saints at home hosting the Buccaneers. Saints are 3.5 point favorite. This is a week where all my fantasy group chats are going to be going crazy because there's a lot of both fans in them, and Saints probably will be starting Winston. I don't know if Carr's playing for sure or not, but Carr may play, but Winston is ready to go if not. Uh, Saints the favorite. Do you think their defense is going to destroy Baker? Do you think them Baker boys are going to show up?
So this game is gonna be this. Fun fact: I low key just asked Paul to pause. I asked Paul to pause it so I can tell him like let's slow and vibe this next part. These next games. This team right here and this team right here. I hate both of them with every piece of passion in my soul. Fuck these entire organizations and their jerseys and their jersey colors. Like fuck everything about them. But this is gonna be a funny ass game. So you got Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, who's the only person he knows how to throw to, against Mike Evans' fucking enemy for life, Marcus Lattimore. Saints defense blitzing at you. And then when you switch it over, they got Jameis Winston, former Bucks quarterback, starting in the game. Like, this is going to be nothing but laughs. This is going to be hilarious. And I really don't want to take either one of them, but I can see a world where Jameis Winston goes on, is like, all right, old team, time to turn the fuck up on them. And they really go ham. But I can also see a world where Baker Mayfield learns how to throw to Chris Godwin, and then they motherfucking and they get some sneaky touchdowns. But I like the Jameis Winston narrative a little bit more, so I think that's what I would go with.
So this one is so tricky to me because that also like it could be Saints defense dominates the Baker boys, but then I could also see because the Saints O line has been pretty ass this year. That's why Derek Carr got hurt mostly. But but Kamara's coming back too, so that's a big. I think people think Kamara's still like in his prime. Kamara has not didn't look too great last year fantasy wise. He'll get you his 15 because he catches the ball, but Kamara wasn't once they made him the workhorse. He was not that guy. He was averaging like 3.9 yards per carry and shit. So I really could see the defense for the Bucks showing up for this game, and I just have a strange feeling the Baker boys are gonna win, and it's gonna be a bloodbath in the comment section and everything, bro. And I hate to say it, but I think the Bucks defense is really stout, and Jameis Winston can come in that bitch and throw a couple interceptions to them.
Because who the Bucks play last week? The Eagles, and
Yeah, and they forced two interceptions on Jalen Hurts.
Oh man, they gonna make Jameis look
Kirk
stupid.
Cousins had a
I
tough
might,
game against them.
I might rock with you on that Bucks pick. I'm not gonna lie to you because that shit is bad. I don't care. I don't care who wins this game, bro. But if I wanted to, I'd abstain. But like Paul's beating me in scoring right now and those things, so I can't be giving up wins and shit. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. So I guess I'll rock with you on the Bucks shit.
All right, and then let me think. Oh, I do want to see Lattimore versus Evans if they fight again, bro. I really want to
Uh,
see if they.
I don't think they're gonna fight again because they fine, but there's gonna be a lot of touching.
Oh, this is yeah. This game is definitely gonna be a little bit larger on my computer than the other games.
I'll be dying laughing the whole game.
Our next game on the block, we got the Cowboys at home, 6.5 point favorite against the Patriots. My dad will be in attendance for this game. Um, Cowboys here, I mean, they coming off a very bad loss to the Cardinals. Josh Dobbs cooked them boys. Dak didn't look too good. Dak throwing game clinching interceptions in the red zone like he does. Uh, like Patriots defense is very good this year. I mean, Tua's worst game, I'll give him credit. He did throw an interception against the Patriots. Tyreek that only had like 30 yards. We still beat them pretty handily. Don't let's not get it twisted now, but definitely Tua's worst game was against the Patriots, and so like that kind of scares me that even though the Cowboys are a big favorite, I'm a little bit worried for my dad's sake that he's going to watch a game and he could be up in that stands cussing Dak's name for for a little while.
So fun fact about the podcast history and Paul's dad at the Cowboys game. There's two things I always will remember. I can't remember what game it was, but Paul, your dad was there, and I think your dad threw like 3 or 4 picks.
And he was cussing, yeah, he was mad as fuck. And then they won the game, and his ass was happy as hell. It was a roller coaster of text.
And oh man, we got to go to a game with your dad one day because I just want to be there when he is just pissed. Because Paul's dad doesn't get mad; he gets pissed. You
Dolphins
feel me?
play the Cowboys Christmas Day.
We got it. We're there.
No,
Please tell
like
me we're
me and
there.
my dad already talking about. My dad's like he can't go because it's on Christmas Day, and I was like, damn. I was like, if only I was like, if you would have came, I would have definitely made bought a ticket for it.
Oh my gosh, we might have to go to his house. That should be crazy lit. But this game is going to be fun. I think the Cowboys need to bounce back after giving up that game to the Cardinals, and it's not going to be this game. They're going to look crazy. They got the defense, their defense. That Bill Belichick defense is eating right now. My dog Christian Gonzalez doing in work, but this Cowboys team is just a little bit better than them. And I don't think this, even though they won, I don't think this Patriots team looked good last week. Because like if you think about it, if they don't have that long ass Hunter Henry touchdown, because I don't know where the fuck the safety was at for
No,
that
not
because it
Hunter
was
Henry. It was the other tight end out of nowhere. Like it was
yeah,
all Hunter Henry motherfuckers were mad that he ain't scored that big touchdown.
yeah, like if they don't score that touchdown, I don't know what that game actually looks like for real. So I'm gonna take the Cowboys because the Cowboys can at least not well, they're gonna throw turnover interceptions and shit, but at least they can score. So I'm gonna take the Cowboys, but this Patriots defense is going to be on some shit, and this game might be look really close in the first half, or it won't run away until like the 6 minutes of the fourth type shit.
Oh, this is a tough one for me
Really, you
because
really
I
believe in these Patriots? I know you like
no,
Mac Jones.
but that's the just look at the Cowboys' first three games with Giants, Jets, Cardinals. You're telling me that Cowboys team couldn't go 3-0?
Yeah, that's crazy. But they
Um,
did blow out the first two teams.
yeah, the first two I'll give them. Jack Wilson, good job. D Jones and that whole team looked terrible week one. But then you look at the Patriots, and they lost. They beat the Jets 15-10. But it was it was a very rainy day, windy. It wasn't the best day for throwing conditions, all that. Then they lose to the Dolphins 24-17, and then they lose to the Eagles 25-20. And they have a second half where they almost come back and beat the Eagles and don't allow the Eagles to score another touchdown in the second half. Uh, it was like Bill Belichick is playing his ass off on defense. I'm giving him that, and I could really see Dak fucking this game, blowing it up. Like I'm going with a prop bet anytime interception thrower Dak Prescott. I think
Oh, that's free money.
that's a free one right there. And like I could see him not worrying about Dak to the point where we're gonna take away the run game. So no Tony Pollard, and then now let's put the whole world on Dak. And I can see the Patriots squeaking out the win. I'm not gonna pick them. I will take the best bet of Patriots. It's sitting at plus 6.5. I would buy the extra point at a half point. Get the Patriots plus 7. I think this game's gonna be very close right here, just because of the defense that Bill Belichick can put out there on the field. And I forgot to hit on this best bet earlier. It was they all passed, and I haven't said them. Eagles minus 8.5, Vikings minus 4, Bengals minus 2.5, Ravens plus 3, Dolphins plus 3, and then now Patriots plus 7.
I respect it.
Next game, this is the big blowout here. 49ers versus the Cardinals. I mean, even at Dobbs' best, I don't think they have a shot in hell against this 49ers team. And that's no disrespect to Dobbs. It's just this 49ers team is running on a different type of time.
Oh yeah, this 49ers team is handling business. They're not even playing with their food. Like them boys is immediately every drive matters to this 49ers team. Like they don't let shit slide. They're tired of coming in, what is it, third or fourth, because they always make it to the championship, and they're tired of not winning this shit. They're coming in, they got their people. As long as nobody's hurt. Brandon Ayuk is questionable for this game. We're hoping he plays. He's a problem. Debo's a problem. CMC. Paul, you haven't been giving out free money now that I think about it. I seen a stat. I meant to send it to you. If you bet $100 12 games ago for CMC and just kept using the same money rolling over, you'll be at 78.63K or something like that. Because this man CMC has scored a touchdown in every game for the last 12 games.
Yeah, he's a touchdown machine. It's to the point where now, because usually touchdowns are minus one something, plus 250. Like Christian Watson, he was at plus 210 last night to score a touchdown. Jay Jettas and Tyreek, they usually sit at a pick 'em minus 100. We win your money back type shit on the bet. But they got his ass at like minus 200. Like you bet 100, you only win $50, like type shit. Like it's just at this point, it's not too smart of a bet to like keep, because they're just the books know. Like the bookies are like, yeah, you're gonna bet it. You're not gonna. We're gonna make it risky for you, because those are the type of bets. Someone bet 100,000 just to win 5,000, and then they lose the bet, even though it was like a super lock or some shit.
Yeah, that's how they get their ass.
But
I
I
know
will
it's
keep giving out free money as CMC over 76.5 rushing yards. I mean, every week this man, 100 and something, 100 and something, and 85. Like, yeah. And that over number keeps moving up, but it hasn't hit the right number yet. It has to be up there. Like once he start putting it, set it at like 88.5 rushing yards, then I'll start thinking about it. But like in the 70s and 60s, yeah, keep hammering the CMC over rushing.
nice.
And especially if they go up on the Cardinals and they just keep running the ball.
Yep.
And then the big slate, the Chiefs versus the Jets in New York. Jets are a 9-point underdog at home. There's a lot of big favorites on the slate, which there's a lot of close games, but whenever there's a big spread, it's a big one. And that kind of scares me for some of these big favorites, because like sometimes one of them don't win them all, and I'm gonna be eyeballing which one of these teams is gonna. One of these games that have a massive spread is gonna be close, and I just don't know which one it is just yet. Uh, could it be? Could it be this game, or is the Swifties and Kelsey and the Mahomes gonna just go in there and just blow shit up? Kev, this
I
was
wanted a reason to raise my hand because I'm coming in so political. You feel me? Let me lower my hand. So, Paul, to answer that question, no, the Jets is not gonna do shit. The Swifties gonna come take over New York. She's got Travis Kelsey's jersey sales are like plus 400%. Bro got like, I want to say he got like 500,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah, The Swifties are just gonna come take over New York, and they finna beat these motherfuckers out. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this Jets defense is good. I think Sauce is him, but and I don't think this defense, the Chiefs defense, is that great for the Chiefs defense is that great against that great. But Zach Wilson has been stinking it up. He's been killing the Garrett Wilson fantasy owners hopes. Yeah, Zach Wilson is not. He needs to change his pronouns to they them because he is not him, kid.
Right. Right. Zach Wilson is the MILF Slayer. You don't think that's the kryptonite to the Swifties?
Nah, man, because bro, Swifties are sixes.
But I think yeah, I think the Chiefs just go in there and blow it up. Even on their worst day, they're gonna put up 28 on the Jets. But the Jets defense has made some of these games closer than they should be. Maybe Sauce gets like a pick six, and we're sitting here. Then there's a punt return touchdown. We're sitting here like, damn, it wasn't even Zach Wilson that did it. It was just like the Jets as an organization won the game somehow.
Fumble recovery for a
Like,
touchdown type shit.
do you know how crazy it'd be if they go like 4-13, and like the four wins are like the Bills, the Chiefs, because they already beat the Bills, and then they beat the Chiefs, and they did like knock off like the powerhouses only.
That should be crazy. And they're like, all they need is a quarterback. All they need
Yeah.
is a quarterback.
But yeah, no, give me the Chiefs here. Let's not get too cute with it. The Chiefs are going to win this game. Then we got our Monday night game. Giants are at home where they're a 1 point underdog against the Seahawks. Seahawks, Geno Smith and them boys. Geno can get some revenge against the Giants who cut him back in the day after he was the starter for a little bit. And actually, they benched Geno Smith to start they benched Eli Manning to start Geno Smith. And then Geno Smith stunk it up and they went back to Eli Manning. And they would never heard of Geno Smith again until the Seahawks. So do you think that's a revenge game for Geno? Do you think the Giants are gonna get shit going better? I'm not too sure about Saquon's health though. I don't know if he's playing this week.
Somebody had the nerve to tell me that Russell Wilson was nice and he was worth the money type shit. And I just asked them like, no, they said Russell Wilson was a future Hall of Famer. That's what they said. And I told them, I was like, who is the Seahawks quarterback right now? They said, I don't know. Go look it up. And I made them Google it. So go look it up. Go look it up. Oh, Geno Smith. Yeah, he's balling right now. I'm like, yeah, these motherfuckers had the number one offense last year. Pete Carroll is a quarterback whisperer. He can make things happen. Never in your life ever tell me Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame.
It's
So
hurting his credit. Ever since he left to the Broncos, shit has hurt his credentials.
yeah, immediately. So that's my take on this Seahawks offense. They've shown they can do their thing. I'm still impressed by Geno for that motherfucking that drive he had in overtime because I love a good drive in overtime. So I got the Seahawks coming in this bitch, running New York. And it's crazy that I have back-to-back primetime games in New York. So that means if that their teams is working overtime.
Yeah. Well, New York's the biggest media market.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, Giants, their biggest downfall is they've been letting running backs destroy them, passing quarterbacks and beat them up too. But I think the Giants are going to get kind of blown out a little early. I think Kenneth Walker runs up all over them. Kenneth Walker actually have it over, was it like 67.5 rushing yards? I think his number's set at. My ass can't really find that bitch. There it is, 62.5 rushing yards. I'm taking over 62.5 rushing yards. I think like James Conner had like 58 in the first half against them last whenever the Cardinals were beating their ass. Like they began CMC hit the over. He had 80 something. Elijah Mitchell had like 40 something yards himself. He hit the over on his rushing yards. First week, Tony Pollard hit the over on his rushing yards. The Giants has been letting people cut him up. I really think this is going to be a big game for Kenneth Walker, who hasn't had big games on the ground. Like, he's had a lot of touchdowns, but he hasn't had a lot of yardage yet. And I think this is the game where we see like a Kenneth Walker for 125, type shit. Like we see a big like Kenneth Walker could have a massive game.
Nice, yeah. We'll see, man. But yeah, Seahawks all the way.
All right, well that's the Monday night game, and as always, we're about to hit y'all boys with our locks and our dogs before we get the fuck up out of here. And as always, Kev, keep the mojo going. Y'all don't know the records are sitting on locks. I'm sitting at 4-2. Kev's at 3-3. Dogs are both at 2-1. We've been balling on that side of things. We start off with the locks. Kev, what are your first two teams that you're locking up?
Ooh, wow. I'm not gonna lie. There's this thing I do in my free time. It kills my memory. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna have to lock up two teams. Gotta take them Vikings, the best 0-3 team in the league. Gotta take them boys. Gotta lock them up. And I think I'm gonna lock up them San Diego Superchargers
Damn,
because
they're not
they're
even from
gonna
LA. It's San
them
Diego.
boys. Them boys. Oh yeah, them San Diego Superchargers. I was watching some meme shit, and they were that's what they call them. They call them San Diego Superchargers. So I think I would take them my boy them Chargers because I did like that showing they had, and that defense got those. You know me, I like when people do cool shit, so it makes me think about them next week. So when they got those two stops on the Vikings last week, I think I got them. So if I could have picked, so yeah, I'm taking those. And for my dogs, gotta dog up them Titans, gotta dog up them boys in Nashville. We gonna see what's cracking out there. You know, University of Tennessee ain't shit, but them Titans might be something. That's Knoxville. We talking Nashville.
See, I'm sorry I have to do this to you. I mean, may the better man win. I'm gonna have to lock up the Bengals. I'm gonna have to go against that dog pick. I just think the Bengals defense is gonna hold them. I think the Titans offenses look so bad this year.
I got the dog bone for a reason, kid.
I see the dog, but I see, hey, but I gotta go get myself some locks. But then my other one, I'm gonna just co-sign just the Vikings here. I think this is their offense is the best offense we've seen ever go on three. This is gonna be a game where their offense shows up. Hopefully, the defense can keep the Panthers to maybe 21, maybe 24. Let's let the Vikings drop 30 and get the dub and get out of there.
Nah, real talk.
It's crazy to say, like you got to drop 30, but then they'll somehow blame Kirk Cousins. Like this is because you're not a good quarterback. And it's like, like it's just my mind.
I'll take Kirk Cousins over a lot of niggas right now.
And on my dog side of things, there's a lot. I have a few dogs on the slate, but none I feel most confident about than my Miami Dolphins up in Buffalo. We're gonna break the curse where we haven't beat them in 7 years up there. We're gonna get our dub. We almost beat them with Skylar Thompson last year in the playoffs in Buffalo. Uh, Now we got Tua. We see Tua doing Tua things. Waddle's healthy for this game. Terran Armstead's as healthy as he's ever been for our left tackle. Like Jalen Phillips is back on the field finally, and I think he's gonna make the name for himself, like I predicted in preseason. So I love us in this situation. They keep doubting us. They keep saying we're not gonna be able to sustain this shit, all of that. But y'all don't know Mike McDaniel and Tua and Tyreek and Waddle, Raheem Morstead, Devon Achane. Jeff Wilson will be back soon too. Andrew Van Ginkel, Jalen Phillips, X. Jalen Ramsey will be back by the end of the year. But we're not even at our best yet. Give me the Dolphins as my dog.
I'm gonna get on your old. This is even my final form.
We're
Mouth
not.
fast.
We're not. When Jalen Ramsey's back, oh brother.
I was actually talking about that the other day because niggas was talking about some. I ain't gonna lie to you. You see the thing about the Dolphins? They just scored 70, right? But if they was fully healthy, it would have been 70-3.
Yeah, we would have been
Probably
like,
they probably would have got the ball back even faster. Like I'm not gonna lie, it would have been 70 like halfway through the fourth.
come on, stop playing with us. Come on,
They would have scored a defensive touchdown. That's why. That's how y'all able to broke the record. That's what.
stop playing with them boys.
Yeah. So we fucking with the Dolphins over here, man. So even though I picked the Bills,
That was like you on the other side, Bucko.
but I'm talking chess. You talking? We talking? We talking? If we going outside, whose parties do you think I'm going to? The Miami Dolphins parties or with the smelly old Bills mafia? I'm not gonna lie to you. We jumping through tables,
Yeah,
but I can turn up with y'all boys afterwards.
Nah, but we're not. Once you cross that side, don't ever come back.
Nah, I just want to jump through tables at the tailgate and then go party in Miami for the after parties. I think that's fair.
But we're gonna smack the fuck out of them Bills Mafia from Sunday afternoon.
We'll see how that shit goes. But I gotta get the fuck up out of here. We are officially 20 minutes late for the bus, and I got a meeting at like 1 o'clock, and a meeting at 2 o'clock, and a meeting at 3:30, and then I gotta go to this boxing fight at 7 p.m. So calendars are cool. Make sure you invest in the calendar. But if you didn't know, this is the Totally Blitz podcast. Yeah, Paul, you drop your best bets.
Yeah, I dropped them. It was the Patriots +7, the Patriots +7, Dolphins +3, Ravens +3, Bengals -2.5, Vikings -4, and Eagles -8.5.
And how many prop bets did you give up?
I didn't give out as many, but do you want me to run through them? I still have them lined up.
Might as well.
So I have them sectioned off as the quarterbacks, then running back. So it would be by position. Quarterback, Kirk Cousins over 1.5 touchdowns. That offense is going to keep scoring points. Russell Wilson over 1.5 touchdowns for the Broncos. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I said that earlier. Fields over 187.5 passing yards. I think Fields is going to be able to throw against that Broncos secondary, which has been getting torched back to back to back weeks. They had Sam Howell look great. That's all I need to say. Now we get to the running backs, or there's the rushing props. Brian Robinson for the Commanders, under 53.5 rushing yards. The Commanders are, the Commies are playing the Eagles, the most stout rush defense in the league. I think they're going to get absolutely wrecked on offense by the Eagles' defensive line. They might have to abandon the run game, have Sam Howell try to get them back into the game, throwing it. So, yeah, give me Brian Robinson's under 53.5. Lamar Jackson over 47.5 rushing. I think this is Myles Garrett might be chasing him. He breaks it out. He's going to have to run for his life here and there. I think they win the game. It ain't going to be by him throwing the ball, but it's going to be by him running the ball. CJ Stroud over 7.5 rushing yards. I think he's a young little athlete. He kind of got a little bit of legs on him. He got a little mobile last week. I think he'll get a little mobile this week. Similar situation where TJ Watt might be on his ass and he might have to roll out of the pocket a few times, scramble, get his own yards. And so CJ Stroud over 7.5 rushing. Najee Harris under 55.5 rushing. Najee Harris is stuck in mud. People on Twitter are like, bro, Najee's not even faster than them. Like Najee is the least explosive running back in the league. Jalen Warren is low key stealing all the snaps more and more and more. He's the more explosive back over there right now. But yeah, I think the Texans defense has been balling low key. No one's really talking about it. But like Trevor Lawrence and ETN had struggles against them last week. Najee, I think, is going to struggle. So under 55.5 rushing. And then Kyren Williams under 56.5 rushing. Similar situation. The Rams, Kyren Williams, I don't think is that good. And the Rams are going to be playing the Colts. Great defense. They're not gonna allow him to get going. I don't think, and they're gonna pick off Stafford. I think this is gonna be the Colts are gonna dominate both sides of the ball right here.
Nice, love to see it.
Jerick McKinnon over 10.5 rushing. I think the Jets defense is good, but I think Chiefs are gonna be up by so much. McKinnon's gonna get some playing time. McKinnon's gonna rush the ball. If he gets 5 touches, he's gonna go over 10.5 rushing yards. Seahawks, Kenneth Walker over 62.5 rushing. I think they're gonna feed, and I think they're gonna run all over the Giants. The Giants have let every running back eat against them so far. Then Logan Thomas over 20.5 receiving yards, the tight end for the Commanders. The Eagles have one of the worst defenses against the tight end this year right now for whatever reason, and I just think Logan Thomas is going to be able to get a few catches here and there. He's first game back since a concussion, so I think he went over this number his first week, and then now he's back. I think he goes over this number again. Waddle over 59.5 receiving yards. Bills have a good defense, but we have a better offense. Enough said. Addison over 39.5 receiving yards. He's done this every single game since he's came in now as a rookie. The Vikings offense is going to keep throwing that thing. Panthers defense ain't going to do nothing about it. Tank Dell over 3.5 catches. Him and CJ Stroud have a connection. 3.5 is way too low for somebody who's getting 10 targets a game. So yeah, give me Tank Dell over 3.5. Chris Godwin under 5.5. Mike Evans is wide receiver number one over there with Baker by far. He's not throwing shit to Godwin, and when he is, he's kind of forcing it. It's not looking like they have any type of chemistry working at all. So yeah, and the Saints have a really good secondary. So under 5.5, I think that's too high. Zach Ertz over 3.5 for the Cardinals. I think the 49ers could get up. They're going to have to throw that thing. Ertz has been getting like 10 targets a game, 7 targets. So for him to go over 3.5, I think that's pretty easy because he's like the safety blanket for Dobbs right now. And then Dak Prescott and Josh Allen both to throw an interception.
Oh yeah, that's pretty money.
That wraps
Especially
up
against that
all my
Dolphins
prop
defense.
bets for this weekend. I will
Hey
be
man,
betting them all.
let them know, man. Hey man, look, even me and Bella pulled up for the best bets, man. Motherfucking don't want to miss the best bets. It's free money. He's giving it to you every motherfucking week. You feel me? But we'll see how everything goes, man. But that's all we got for you. This is the Totally Blitz podcast. I'm your boy Kev Waterboy Savoy. We've been joined by Mia Bella, the beautiful, the most devious one. I'm in this bitch with Paul Pickett, Wyndham Conjure, the drunk gambler. But it's not. It's 11 in the morning, so my boy isn't too gone right now.
Not yet.
Maybe wait till you see our Sunday night recap. So we're gonna have that ready for you, man. So make sure you stay tuned. It's big fights going on this weekend. We got Charlo versus Canelo. So make sure you're checking out the boxing episode. No UFC this week. So we super tuned in. And make sure you set your alarms. We up at 9:30 in the morning, top of the morning, watching the Falcons do their thing. So we gonna catch you on the next one, big dogs, and we gonna take it easy. Just totally blitz you up.